Hey everyone, Derpy here, and believe it or not, I am back with another Battle Pirates video. Was taking a little break, but I'm still in the full swing of things, and hopefully most of you didn't really even notice I took a break. This is the VXP Target Skirmish 2021 VXP Weekend sort of target preview, target recon, build material, strategy guide, whatever you want to call it. Jumping right into a background on this target, there's a few things that I hope you are aware of. First of all, this is solely based on these VXP targets. These two targets, the 9091, are the only things that I've seen. Everything in here is subject to change, although that hasn't happened really for 2 years. The final raid targets will have the same mechanics as these ones do, depending on some massive change by Kixeye. Those targets will of course have a completely different layout. And Kixeye might release their own strategy guide, but they don't really do that anymore, so this one is on me. If this video is helpful for you, it probably is helpful for someone else. Go ahead and share this video. I'm only posting it in a few places. If you're seeing it, it helps you, it might help someone else. With that out of the way, let's jump directly into this one. The first ship I want you to be aware of is the Eradicator. The Eradicator is this sort of fire-looking ship on the top right here. There's a few things you want to be aware of with this one. It's slow, like most things in here are, and it has random fire fields. It emits different mortars here, and they land. You can't tell where they're landing, which really bugged me. If Kixeye changes one thing from these VXP weekend targets, I hope it's this one. And they're going to land someplace, hit, produce an explosive fire field, and when they do hit, they do moving random damage. So you can't tell where they're going, but they're moving around and they're doing something. So just be aware of that one. There's no short-range weapons or anything on the Eradicator. It just hits, and that's all there is. You can kill it, although it does have a lot of health, and that's really the first ship to be aware of here. It is also only in the quote-unquote skilled targets, so it shouldn't be too bad. You're not going to run into moving fire patches on auto, at least from what I'm expecting here. So that's the Eradicator. Moving on to ship number 2, we have the Enforcer. The Enforcer is this big green ship, or big bluish ship, on the bottom right of your screen. There are actually two different types of Enforcers. One of these is in the quote skill target, one is in the quote auto target. This one you're seeing right here has explosive cheese balls that do their dumbfire splash weapons. They're going to move towards you here and land where you were, so you can outrun them and you can keep moving, and that should help reduce damage there from those because it's explosive damage and it appears to be splash damage. It is a red aura, as you might be able to see here. I do not know if splash damage reduction actually works. It might not, but regardless, keep moving, and with a fast ship, you should be able to avoid most of the damage from those Enforcers. If you get close to these things, there is going to be another weapon, at least on the green one in the skill target, and that is an explosive rocket. That rocket moves towards you, it's splash, it's explosive like a normal rocket that you would expect. If you hit the one in the auto target instead of this one, that's going to be one of the orangish or reddish sort of cores on that one instead. And that has no cheese balls, so you're fine and can survive autoing this thing perfectly okay, but instead it has concussive Gatling gun weapons, so be aware of that one, and those are the same range as these rockets on it, but they are concussive instead of explosive, and the projectile speed might be slightly higher. Looks like we have our next victim coming in quite quickly, and those are the riots. These are very fast ships. You can see I was not really doing any damage to these, even though I'm shooting at it, because my projectile speed is too low compared to the ship and how quickly it's moving. You can get around this by running them into the land or getting close to them when you are shooting at that. So if I get directly on top of this guy, I might start to do some damage, but I'll do even more if I can actually run it up against the land tile, which is tricky to do and you have to get the pathing down and play with it, but it is possible to run these guys into the land tiles, and once they do that, right here, you'll kill it very quickly, at least if you have a full fleet and you are shooting at it. And those, of course, are concussive weapons. They outrange you and they do splash. It appears lots of things here have very high spread. The other ship that you have been noticing the entire time is this little marauder here on the bottom. This guy has no weapons. It's only there for extra points for the target, and primarily, in my opinion, is there for pathing so you can actually complete targets on auto. So there are a few ships and things can get a bit complicated. Before I finish out this target and my ship dies, let's go for some quick strategies. So these may seem pretty obvious, but I'm going to run through them anyway. First of all, keep moving. You'll take less damage from splash weapons if you are moving. Second of all, there's nothing in this target that I see that evade works against. So don't use Kind Scrambler 3, don't use Agility System 4. Evade will not be helpful in this target from what I'm seeing, period. Also, try something I'm calling the Circle of Death. We may have to work on the name for that one. You have all these directional weapons which all have their own reload, so if you keep spinning in a circle, hopefully when you're not being fired at by cheese balls, you're going to maybe do more damage to things because each of your 8 weapons on the outside here are working great and they can all shoot and you'll do more damage, especially to a single target. If I focus in this hole here and I spin in circles, all my weapons have a chance to shoot and all my weapons have a chance to do damage, so try the Circle of Death. Also, holy crap, there are a lot of fire fields. Note that everything in this target that I'm seeing does outrange you. Most of them are longer than you, and a few are the exact same range, like these rockets from this Hulk here, or the Enforcer, as I should be calling it, is the same range as you. You start shooting the same time it does. Same thing with the concussive weapons if you do hit the, quote, auto version of the Hulk here. It seems to me that you're going to take more explosive damage if you are autoing things and more concussive if you're driving. So explosive is the thing you can avoid with skill. If you intend to auto every single target, maybe lean more explosive. If you intend to drive every single target, maybe lean concussive. Personally, because I can't quite figure out which, I'm not 100% convinced, I'm going to be going for 2 of each. That is pretty much everything I have for you in this video today. If I made any mistakes in this video, like I said the wrong name of a ship or something else, especially if the text listed is wrong, go ahead and leave a comment below. And if there is something, I will have a pinned comment in the YouTube comment section or description or Kixeye forums wherever you are seeing this. As always, thank you to everyone whose names appear on screen right now for supporting the channel. And as always, this is Derpy signing out, helping you be a better pirate.